The final day of class. A love note left on your desk. The sender asks that you meet them on the rooftop of the school under the giant bell. The end of a romantic journey in the game Love School Days has come. You may not have won over your preferred heroine, but you still maxed out at least one of them. You meet your beloved Machina on the rooftop where she confesses her love to you, and you both share a kiss, concluding the game. And that was the end of Love School Days. Now it's time to try to win over another heroine in a new game and... The game seems to be a bit buggy. Maybe you can...
Usotsuki, 君は私を消そうとするんだね。教えたよね、この学校の伝説を。屋上のベルの下で結ばれた二人は永遠に離れることはないっていう伝説。二人は永遠に一緒なんだから。君が裏切るなら私があなたを消してあげる!
With the charade broken, we now enter the true Love School Days. What was once an innocent dating simulator transformed into a nightmare hellscape with no way out. You, the player who is playing as another player using a VR headset, must navigate this school and uncover a way to escape. You must also avoid Machina, who's hunting you down to delete your data, trapping you in the game forever. This horror survival game by OTL Games is a roguelike where the school is randomized each run, making each playthrough of the game unique. There are over 13 endings to this game, each with their own conditions to get them, along with items you must find within the environment. With the multiple endings and randomized map, is Love School Days worth surviving, or should it be deleted? Let's see what works in Love School Days in The Good. This game excels at creating a sense of dread within you. The quiet halls of the school with ambient noises keep you on your toes at all times while exploring. Breaking up this silence is the constant noise of Machina opening doors, reminding you that you are being pursued by her at all times. There's nothing more frightening than hitting a dead end and hearing the door you came from opening. There are lockers for you to hide in, along with being able to crouch behind different chest-high objects, but the game may decide to throw a wrench or two at you with the different events that occur. One event in particular causes Machina to sprint through the school with infinite stamina while a sports commentator narrates the whole chase. Despite the dreadful nature of this game, it still tries to have fun and make you laugh with some things that occur in the game. It even throws a Mafia City gag at you if you idle on the game over screen long enough. One last thing I'll bring up is that there's over 13 endings to get, and you're very much encouraged to explore the school for the necessary items for each of them. It is enjoyable seeing some of the endings that the devs came up with, though getting to these endings becomes a headache in of itself, so let's reload our save file in The Bad. There are many items for the player to pick up in this game, along with many doors and things to interact with. However, the game's selection box is very picky where it becomes hard to select these things unless you're pointing at a specific spot. This can make runs very frustrating, especially when you're trying to close doors you open to slow down Machina. God help you if you're using a controller for this too, which by the way, if you're playing on PC with a controller attached, the game will assume you're using a controller and show those prompts. It even prevented me from selecting things with my keyboard and mouse, forcing me to use my controller. Another annoyance of this game is how you can't tell what each period will do. Some you instantly know, like the health and music periods, which you notice affecting the environment immediately. Others, like break and information, ironically do not provide any info on what their effects are, leaving you guessing as to what they do. Another thing leaving you guessing is when exactly does Machina upgrade her AI during a run. Picking up certain items causes her AI to become more advanced, but there's no telling which specific items does it, which makes it feel very random. Another aspect that feels random is when Machina just appears. Sometimes you'll catch her walking down the halls, other times she'll just pop out of a vent a la Among Us, a locker, or even a pool. As scary and comical these situations are, it makes runs frustrating where you have no idea when the game will decide to just spawn her in. Speaking of frustrations, one of my biggest complaints about the game is the school itself. I mentioned before that each run in the school is unique as the map is randomized. A huge problem comes in from the fact that the map is massive in this game. Combined with the fact that items are also in random locations on the map, trying to achieve certain endings in this game becomes a frustrating trial. You also cannot pull up a full map on screen or in your menu. The most you can do is pull up a map of your surrounding area, but it barely scratches the surface of the environment you're navigating. Sure, there are arrows you can pick up before a run starts to help highlight areas you've been to, but they're not much help if you can't even see them on your map due to being on the other side of it. There is a teleport item that allows you to teleport to previous important rooms and areas you've been to. Only problem is, without a map as a guide of reference, you're left guessing as to which area is or near where you need to go. Speaking of items, there's one I want to bring up that could have helped alleviate my map issue, and those are the eye drops. The eye drops can automatically notify the player of any items within a classroom, which helps massively with exploration. However, due to it being time limited, it falls short of being useful. With the immense size of the game map, it should have been a permanent upgrade like most items are in a roguelike. One last thing is that your runs will require trial and error due to the vague nature of the endings. Some can be as simple as find the item that a note or character lists, while others become a great scavenger hunt around the school, which can get very frustrating. Then there's one that requires you to dive 5 times to an enemy in one area, which unlocks another room to proceed with that ending route. It can all feel a bit much combined with avoiding Machina and other hazards in the school. Now with all that out of the way, let's run away into the opinion. Love Love School Days is a tense horror game that is fun to play for the first couple of runs. It's when you start going after endings where the many cracks of this game start to rear their ugly head. The map is way too large for what you have to do, and navigation is a big pain, especially with the unpredictable nature of Machina. I did all my runs of this game on normal difficulty, so I can only imagine how worse things got in the harder difficulties. It is a fairly unique horror game that takes cues from Doki Doki Literature Club and Outlast, so if you like those games, you might find enjoyment out of this, especially at its low price. Just be prepared for frustration and a lot of jank. I recommend easy difficulty for when you start hunting for the endings, as that difficulty has more recovery and teleport items for you to use, along with Machina doing less damage so you can focus more on gathering the items. And now, it's time for my rating. I would give Love Love School Days this Kabedon out of 10. Thanks for watching and tune in to the next Infinite Backlog review. If you enjoyed today's review, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. You can check out our other videos or follow us on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Once again, thank you for watching.